What up, what up? We got press day number 2 today, so a little bit more shoulder focused. We're not really working as much of a skill movement on our shoulder press day compared to like our other days, like our bench, our pull-ups, our deadlifts, stuff like that. So a lot more of our stuff today will be machine-based, but we'll give you guys some ideas of some exercises you can implement if you don't have some of the machines we have.
Just keep it simple. Whatever makes your shoulders feel good. If you have like shoulder issues, like very specific shoulder issues, and you can't really get a good warm up, you can go watch the other video, get an idea of what to look at. But for today, we're just doing like 2 or 3 things. Joey's shoulder's feeling a little bit stiff. I was making the flex tape joke earlier. Usually he lacks ER, so I like to get him into a position where he can get externally rotated, maintain that position. Tends to be high cable curl. It works well for him. Also, like most people are gonna want to do more curls if you give him a chance to. So instead of doing some boring banded bullshit or boring stretches, whatever it is, we're just gonna integrate it as biceps. Yeah, push day today. We're doing a more like hypertrophy output focused push day. Other day we have skill, like we have a barbell bench press in, we have a Smith machine bench press in. Today's mainly machine work, mainly isolation work, so we'll hop into that next.
Feeling great. Got my carbs in for the morning.
So you see here, I'm going more of a palms down, pronated grip. That's gonna give me a little bit more of a stretch in my subscap in the top. If you wanna go neutral, that's fine too. Just trying to get pulled overhead. So for our A1 today, I'm gonna go machine chest press. We've had shoulder press in first, but a pretty good teaching point is like exercise order definitely matters, but if you're in a busy gym, if your shit's taken, it's not the end of the world if you have to switch things around. So today we're gonna go A1 flat machine press. It's our main like pec output. B1 we're gonna go with the shoulder press. That'd be our main like shoulder like overhead output work. So kind of our layout, it's like load it, isolate it. So get something that's more compound in nature. Load it, mechanical conditions into the main driver of hypertrophy. So we're gonna load it. Later we're gonna do shoulder press, load it, and we're gonna do lateral raises, and then pec fly.
Yeah.
The incline pec fly. You know, kind of our layout for today. Finish off some tricep work.
Yeah. Check engine light's not on, so let's go.
Yep, I'm fine with it.
Hey.
Nice. So a good point would be treat your warm-up sets like your working sets. So don't rush to your warm-up sets. Also, there's no hard rule for how many warm-up sets you need to do. We just did, a little more elaborate warm-up for like our A series, but we only did 2 plates warm-up. Everything felt good. Check engine light wasn't on. We jumped straight to 4 plates. Felt good.
Really? Yeah, we're touching and going, dude. Let's go. Is that 4? This chest press machine, because it's a like very simplistic machine, you get into your position, it's not a lot of cueing for setup. These are where we like to press output more than like a free weight or anything like that. It's gonna have more focus on stability.
5, 6, one more. You got 8, you got 8, you got 8, 7, 8, come on.
If you don't have a machine like this, you can do, most people are gonna be able to use this with dumbbells, just regular dumbbell flat bench. We wanna stay in more of this neutral arm path so we get more adduction of the movement. Yep, sets and reps, going. On this, we're gonna probably go three working sets. The weight's moving pretty well. This is gonna be like our first work of the day. So feeling good. Reps are gonna be anywhere from 8 to 10. If you push down to that 6 to 8 range, it's fine, as long as we're loading it well. But not really focused on like a technical failure, but more of a muscular failure, muscular fatigue.
All right, one more. I got you.
Dude, 1 week of a break, and I'm feeling freaking massive, bro.
B1 today is gonna be the Viking press right here, standing. First in our program, we had this seated like nebula press over here, so a little bit more external stability sitting down. Now we're moving to standing up. Maybe a little bit more limitations on output considering the demands on our core to brace ourselves underneath, but it's kind of what we want to build into. We're trying to build into more of a strength block, and then we're trying to build it into more something that's going to carry over more for Joey like on the field. So obviously his demands as a kicker aren't very high, but still trying to build some more core strength, trying to integrate some more things as opposed to just training like a meathead.
Huge.
Huge.
Huge. The reason why we call it a skill exercise is we can progress it pretty easily with load. So our squat, our bench, they're gonna be like our compound movements, quote unquote, but they're movements that we can progress with weight. When we talk about output, a lot of them are gonna be more machine-based, but they're gonna be like multi-joint, they're gonna involve multiple muscles, but they're obviously gonna be working in unison. But they are exercises that we can load pretty heavily, but it's gonna be a dumbed down approach to the movement. So it's not as skill focused. We can get into a really easy position and then just load the shit out of it.
Just to stem off what Joey was just saying, talking about like load it, isolate it, load it, isolate. When we say like load it, all we mean is like it's an exercise that's more compound in nature. So like the chest press was like pec, triceps, delts. This is going to be like pec, triceps, delts, traps. A lot of things are involved, but we're sending a very loud signal, a very loud stimulus towards the muscle that we're trying to train. So here it's like predominantly delt, there it's predominantly pec, right? Like we're still gonna be biasing those muscles pretty well, but we're including a lot of other things. And then like finishing it off, we're gonna go and actually isolate it. So we do like a lateral raise, single joint, putting the majority of the tension right through our delt, but it's gonna be lower in absolute terms. So like maybe the dumbbell lateral raise we'll do like 30s versus here we're putting like 2 or 3 plates over our head. Maybe with a pec fly, we're doing like a couple plates versus with the chest press, we were doing like 5 plates. But it's gonna be a more local stimulus, it's gonna be more isolated. So load it, send a loud signal, finish it off with something that's more precise.
Something we can switch out if we wanna make this more of a skill-based exercise. We can do a standing military press, we can do a seated dumbbell military press. It's gonna be a little bit more focused on like the stability of the movement because it's a free weight and it's not machine, it doesn't have these like fulcrums that we can push off of. With this is a lot more stable for a machine, so it requires less stability of the body. Therefore, we can load it heavier, we can push output. If you guys don't have a machine like this at your gym, again, you can change this exercise out for a seated military press with a barbell. You can do standing military press, barbell, standing dumbbell press, seated military dumbbell press.
Even like Smith machine,
Yeah.
something more stabilized than a landmine. I love a landmine because almost everybody has a barbell.
Yeah.
Shove it in the corner somewhere. Good, chest down, chest down, chest down. Nice. So you'll see with this, Joey's trying to like resort as he gets tired, and this is like a very common thing, into like lumbar extension, like it's like an extension posture, right? We're trying to almost like manipulate our body to make it easier to get overhead. So cue I gave him was chest down. We're trying to keep a stacked rib over pelvis. Something you hear a lot. All we're really trying to do is give ourselves the most internal stability as possible, so we have a good base for output. C1?
C1.
Yeah, going cable fly. So our main like chest isolation movement.
I like using the cables sometimes more than a machine, just based off the fact that I feel like I get a better position in retraction and protraction with the cables, especially with like kind of the arm path we can create. Sometimes the machines kind of put us in a less advantageous position to get into retraction and protraction. And the movement's a little bit more like around a different axis. Here we're pushing like kind of straight out. Other ones I feel like it's more of like a rotation on a little bit different axis. So
that's what Joey was saying too, like the cables can be more adjustable. So a machine's kind of a fixed path. The cables, we can adjust it more to his body. So trying to keep the cables in line, more in line with his upper arm. He's keeping his weight more forward to keep a stable base. You can also stay a little bit more upright, and you can just squeeze your back ass cheek. Main thing here, keeping our elbows a little bit tighter. Going with still a little bit of a wider arm path. We're not quite pressing it. It still is a fly. As he gets tired, he can tuck a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Do a kind of a mechanical drop set. Turn it into more of a press. That's just to get more volume close to failure. Come on, come on. Set your weight, set your weight. 3 more. Good. Keep that base. Come on, finish. All right, so D1, we're gonna go cross body tricep extensions. General layout for a upper body day. I like to get something overhead, something more horizontal in nature, something in shoulder extension. So that way from like a movement variability standpoint, we're kind of checking all the boxes of shoulder function that we can. So we already checked off horizontal press, checked off overhead. Now we're getting into shoulder extension, doing our main tricep output for the day. Same idea here as the rest of the training. 2-3 sets, 6 to 12 reps.
When we're doing these cross-body tricep extensions as well, getting a good arm position, which we call like our carrying angle. So it's the angle at which your elbow drops down, your hands are out to the side, based off the anatomy of your humerus and your radius and ulna, which is a lot of scientific stuff to just say if you're going to carry groceries into the house, where is your arm position going to usually be? So we want to stay in that arm path. That's going to help stabilize our shoulder better. And we're looking at this tricep extension exercise less as a mirror muscle type thing where we're trying to get big triceps, but stability of the tricep in shoulder extension. So we always forget that some of these bodybuilding muscles, the mirror muscles, all this stuff, your bicep, tricep, all those things, we try to train them in a mindset of like trying to look good, like trying to make them big and strong and all that crap. But a lot of the times we're using them for the stability of the shoulder. So use them for the actual action of the muscle versus just the origin, insertion, movement of the muscle. So we understand that it extends the elbow, but we also got to understand what the tricep does in the stability of the shoulder. So our last isolated exercise, we're doing lateral raises. Again, we're lucky to have some of these machines here. So if you don't have this, you can do dumbbell lateral raises. This one, I would actually suggest doing chest-supported dumbbell lateral raises. So we're putting ourselves in a little bit more advantageous shoulder position. But if you don't, obviously if you don't have a bench, you can still do dumbbells. You can do cable lateral raises, and depending on that, you can change like kind of the variation that you're doing with that just by the place that you put the cable. But for here, targeting lateral delt, medial delt, all delt, pretty much instability of the shoulder. So this will be our last isolated exercise for the day. Go ahead and load it. Again, 2 to 3 sets, probably closer to 8 to 12 reps on this, pushing to more like probably 12. For me, I got to get better at this movement, so I'm going to do a little bit more reps than weight. Nick will make me look like shit by doing more weight and more reps. So,
getting set up on here. As far as like active range of motion, where our delts can do the most work. Between around neutral shoulder position here, maybe like right above shoulder height. We're not going to be going all the way up here. We want to get our arms slightly forward in the scapular plane. Only like, you hear that word a lot. Really, it's just going to be where our shoulders going to be the strongest. So our rotator cuffs going to be able to stabilize our shoulder the best. It's where our scaps are going to sit on our rib cage. It's a stable position, so high stability, high output. Take it to the house. If you leave reps in reserve on this, I hate you.
Push day 2, a little bit more shoulder focused. Started off with the chest press, went to the overhead shoulder press. Any machine you guys can have for that, whether it's dumbbell, barbell, a machine, into cable flies, and then tricep cross-body extensions into lateral raises. So again, stay within our rep range, stay within our sets for volume. Make sure you're pushing intensity, get into that relative mechanical failure on a day like today on most of the exercises. So
push day, done and dusted, high output, low skill. Set it up right, go hard, high intensity, high proximity to failure, close proximity to failure. Doesn't need to be super intricate. Just make sure you cover this full range of shoulder flexion, shoulder extension.
So save this for your chest day, your chest and shoulder day, and just get after it. Peace.